Hello, hello, hello. Hooligan Soccer Podcast, Champions League special, game week 3, with myself, Gary Striker, and it looks like a pre-engaged Qooligan. Good morning, villain of the year. How are you?
The villain of the year is feeling good. Feeling good.
So
Because,
we are Monday morning.
So much happening.
Monday morning, so much happening. Champions League is coming at us on top of the MLS playoffs, USL playoffs, Premier League. European competitions, it's everywhere, everything all at once.
As a villain, the USL playoffs have delivered on so many occasions. What an absolute manic weekend for the USL it was. And there were some good upsets in MLS too. But wow.
Yeah. Well,
crazy stuff happening. Crazy stuff happening here.
We will be recapping all of them at Hooligan-Soccer. As always, guys, please follow, like, subscribe. Come and check out our works. We've obviously got a stable of new writers and partners as well coming on and sort of creating content, engagement, fan content, forums, all of those wonderful things. So check us out. But as always, like, follow, subscribe. It helps us with the algorithms. We really appreciate it. And let's get on with today because there is a lot of games going on over Tuesday and Wednesday for the Champions League.
Indeed.
So
that's what we're focusing on. Let's do it.
Let's start on Tuesday's games, just having a look as well. So we've got the two early fixtures, Napoli versus Frankfurt. This one, it's an interesting one because in the Champions League, both teams seem to be sort of, both teams are stuttering here, particularly Napoli, who are dominating in Serie A.
Let's call it what it is. Both teams suck. Both teams suck right now. In the Champions League. Yes, with the caveat, there's an asterisk at that, right? No. They're not good. They've had very disappointing campaigns in the Champions League, and this is the opportunity for either one of them to sort of grab the other by the scruff of the neck and stepping on their shoulders, so to speak, push them further down into drowning while they're elevating themselves up for that very hopeful breath of air. Because this is the game that could make or break them in the Champions League, right? The loser goes down to 3 losses and a win.
Yeah,
the winner goes up to 2-2. And we've seen that in this format, you can still make it with 3 losses and qualify, but it's not good for the psyche.
Yeah, it's
not good for the psyche.
I mean, but if you do remember, PSG only just sort of scraped through. Remember, they got off to a horrid start last season as well, they managed to scrape through. So this new format is definitely more entertaining. But I agree.
It offers many more lifelines to solid clubs that don't perform well. There's still always that opportunity.
Exactly, and it gives the opportunity for the sort of some of the smaller clubs as well to find a way in there, which is also
if they can manage to have some consistency. That's right.
Exactly. So we've got what's interesting is Napoli. They're leading Serie A at the moment, and they have obviously being Italians, traditionally very tight defense. And yet they're going up against Frankfurt, who are completely the opposite, which is they just concede and they just have a lot of leaky goals. So you've got a really tight defense against a very leaky defense. I mean, even just looking at that, I mean, look at this. But then you could also argue, in fact, Napoli as well in the Champions League have had a very leaky defense. I mean, they've conceded 9 goals by the looks of it and only scored 4.
Both teams have
-5.
Massive goal differentials. They're
negative,
huge negative goal differentials. Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that is.
No, I mean, Frankfurt's conceded 19 goals in the Bundesliga, right? And while they're sitting in 8th place, they're not in a heap of misery. They've conceded more goals than any other team other than 14th place Augsburg, and even more than say Mönchengladbach, who's in 16th, and Mainz, right? Mainz 05 is Actually, I think I went Dutch there, and I
was going to say that was that was.
They've conceded more. They've conceded more goals than last place Heidenheim.
Wow, that's right. Just goes to show. Hey,
now Heidenheim and Mainz can't score. That's their problem. Frankfurt doesn't have a problem at scoring, but no, this is. If you are Napoli, you have got to look at this upcoming fixture, against Frankfurt with hunger. Right? Because you want all of your stars to go in and just beat the living crap out of them. And it could happen, and I think it will happen. I think Napoli is set for a big fat win here.
I agree. I mean, it's crazy to think that Frankfurt had Ekitike and obviously he was a big driving factor as to why they actually qualified for the Champions League, and they got it and then sold him, and they definitely are missing them. But I agree.
Well,
I think
they are and they're not. I mean, they're not scoring a lot but they're scoring. But Ekitike wasn't defensive.
Yeah, this is true.
The problem with Frankfurt isn't the lack of attacking options. It's crap defense. They can't keep the goals out.
This is true. Yeah,
you could have 3 Ekitikes in this team, and it wouldn't make a difference if they're conceding 19 goals in a league or conceding 10 goals in the Champions League. It's not good enough.
They've conceded the most goals in the 3 games, joint most with Ajax. Look at that. Yeah, and Ajax is sitting wrong.
Well, we know where Ajax is.
Exactly. Yeah. So
there you are.
So there we go.
Nothing more needs to be said.
Yeah, this is they say is a 6-pointer. This really is, because again, it's a real 6-pointer, isn't it? So that would be a good one on the early fixture. The other, I think, I agree with you. I think Napoli will probably just have the edge because of their tight defense, and then they'll just be able to nick one as well. Although missing Kevin De Bruyne, did you see that? I think Kevin De Bruyne,
he's out.
He got ACL or something like that, which is terrible. So he could even miss the World Cup, which would be horrific. But
McTominay will be there, and he'll pick up the slack.
McTominay as well, Rasmus Højlund as well looks as though he's fine as well. So that should be fine. Yeah, I agree. I think Napoli should be able to sort of kick it into gear, and they have great form in Serie A, so they should be able to carry that over. Arsenal, who are just looking also as well. Look at that, Arsenal. We're talking about great defenses. Still, there's only 2 teams, Inter and Arsenal, in this league, in the Champions League, who are yet to concede a goal in 3 games. And as we know, also the same in the Premier League as well. That defense is just rock solid. What a foundation to build from. So I don't think they are traveling to Slavia Prague. Yeah, they're traveling to Prague in Czechia, as it's now known. So I think Arsenal probably should have a comfortable sort of win here. They should be able to grind out 2-3-0 and just stay in the pocket there and just in the top places with that automatic qualification. Looking through some of Tuesday's other fixtures,
I'm going to go on a limb here. I actually think they're going to have. I actually think they're going to have a problem.
Okay.
And so Slavia Prague, a lot of the teams that come from these smaller leagues that make it into the Champions League, they are outclassed. We get that. That's normal. But Slavia, certainly in their league form, they have not yet lost. Okay. They've lost 1 game this entire year, and that is in the Champions League. They are undefeated in their domestic league. But what the interesting stat is, they have 6 draws. And they have 2 draws in the Champions League. This is a team that right now is sitting on a record of 8 wins, 8 draws, and a loss. It is precisely that type of track record that could stymie Arsenal.
That's Slavic, Slavic.
And I'm not saying that they're not gonna come out and beat Arsenal with the stupendous attack. That's not going to happen here.
But they could
very easily just stifle them, hold, and maybe get one on the counter, and then Arsenal gets one. I actually think this is a draw game.
Interesting. Okay.
And it could be either a 0-0 or a 1-1. It won't go any higher than that.
Yeah. Okay.
You could also argue that, there is also the potential of an Arsenal blowout, but I do think that Prague has the ability to hold them. So I'm going to kind of lean into that.
Okay.
It's a hopeful lean, but I'm going to lean into that.
Okay. All right. I think Arsenal should comfortably be able to sort of get through here, but it is a good point and good sort of read of the stats there as well, Qooligan. That definitely Slavia Prague they're tough. They are not going to be an easy opponent to roll over. That's for sure.
No, not at home. Not at home.
Yeah. Speaking of not easy opponents as well, we've got Tony Bloom's USG traveling to Atletico Madrid, which is going to be, it's been a revelation almost. This is an interesting one. Both teams sitting on 3 points. This is another one. This is another 3 points. It's Atletico, who have lost 2, which is very unlike them. They have been, I know they haven't necessarily had the easiest of draws each time, but they certainly aren't. Again, USG are not going to sort of roll over easily as well, and this is not going to be an easy result. My suspicion is that I think Atletico probably do have enough firepower to get over the line here as well, considering USG are the sort of new entrants to the Champions League. But that's a potential. I
don't see USG coming out of. I don't see them coming out of Madrid with points here. No, they had an amazing start. Offered a great story but in their last 2 games, USG has just not performed. You are seeing that quality chasm that exists inside between these top flight leagues and some of these secondary European leagues. In this case, the Jupiler, Pro League in Belgium. They're dominating that still, right? Kicking ass there. That does not translate. It's not the same translation.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah, again, that Tony Bloom effect. I know you've been working on a sort of story in the back end, haven't you? About the Tony Bloom.
You say, but I'm telling you, you're not gonna like it because there's no proof. There is zero proof that Tony Bloom has any influence on any team that he has an ownership stake in. I'm sorry to break it.
I understand. Well, the proof is any team that he seems to have a stake in seems to all of a sudden start winning and do very well and overperform.
That is, and again, since 2 of those teams he's only owned for less than 4 months.
Okay.
You've got no statistical backing on this.
There's no statistic, just
you have your Gary Striker confidence, which is a great quality. Don't lose
bravado, the bullshit and bravado.
This is all talk, G. This is all talk. There is no pudding in the bowl here.
All right, let's move on then. Okay, we were just talking as well, saying about some of these fixtures as well. There's no mouth-watering. There's 2 mouth-watering fixtures only on the Tuesday, which is the Liverpool Real and the PSG Bayern. But aside from that, these other fixtures, Bodo Glimt are hosting AS Monaco, Juventus, Sporting as well. Juventus, look at that, Juventus are outside of the playoff spots. And I know they just got a new manager as well.
That's why they kicked their manager to the curb. No, they got rid of him and. Yeah. So you could see a managerial bounce there.
Yeah, you can see that. Sporting Lisbon looking well with 6 points as well, sitting in 12th place as well. So yeah, you'd expect maybe
Bodo Glimt is always hard at home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. You got to travel north of the Arctic Circle, right? Weather's turning.
You have the chance for some, especially this time of year. You don't know what weather you're going to get. Literally, it can change in 2 hours. A slight shift in the barometer pressure, one little, a few ticks on the,
Arctic breeze comes in.
And all of a sudden it's like, boom, 20 degree drop. It goes from sunny to hailing. I mean, and you're playing on a artificial surface, which most European teams aren't used to. So that can cause some problems. In Monaco, I mean, they're not used to inclement weather.
That's the tax-free principality as well with the nice weather. Well,
I mean, if they don't die from sticker shock by looking at the prices of everything, they will at least, they'll at least be challenged on the pitch. Because Bodo they have probably been the most unlucky team in the Champions League so far. They have 3 penalty misses. They've missed. I know they've missed 2. I got to go back and check my stats. I know for a fact that they've missed 2. And those penalty misses have cost them wins in each match. So, they've dropped 4 points just on those 2 things and had like freakish own goals to have other teams draw level. So at some point their luck has to change. Can't get any worse than it is for Bodo Glimt. So, maybe this is the one where they finally make it.
Okay. Well, let's hope so. Yeah, and it would be a wonderful story to see them and see them sort of put some points on the board. But I mean, again, they're still just outside that playoff spot as well as are Monaco. There's a couple of these matches where the actual teams are playing next to each other in the standings as well. So there are definitely a couple of 6-pointers going on here. The other interesting one about Monaco is I'm kind of eagerly awaiting to see the return of Paul Pogba, who they signed, as we know, after he got suspended. And unfortunately,
there are rumors about that. Yeah,
he had an ankle sprain. Yeah, he had an ankle sprain, unfortunately, and so he's not going to make it back for this game as well. We're going to have to wait a little bit longer to see him back in action, so we'll have to keep going on there. But I think that the standout fixture, just for the sort of the pure narrative factor here, is Liverpool are hosting Real Madrid, and you've got
Turn of the Trent.
And El Trento with his wonderful sort of Spanish is going to be returning to Anfield, and you know that the Liverpool fans are going to boo the hell out of him. It's not the prettiest thing to see, but they need to, because also as well, I know they got a win at the weekend, which was I wouldn't say, would you say it was a convincing win against, was it Aston Villa, wasn't it? Would you say it was convincing or
yes.
that sort of
yes.
match?
Anytime you shut out anytime you shut out a team with as much firepower and pedigree as Aston Villa to win.
Yeah. So it was a convincing win. So you can maybe argue that sort of the form is back a little bit, although there were a few notable names rested, and we'll see what happens. But
I don't think Liverpool is in a state right now where you can say that the last fixture means anything.
Yeah, that's true. There's
it is
insecurity.
Absolutely 100%. You don't know what you're going to get week after week. You just have to sort of strap yourself in and hope for the best. Like right on.
Yeah. Whereas Real Madrid, on the other hand, are just sort of, just cruising. They're absolutely fine. Xabi Alonso has got them absolutely rocking. He's had it. What's interesting as well, the sign of his management as well, is he's had some of these personnel issues. There was that Vinicius issue, I think it was 2 weeks ago, wasn't it now, where they had El Clasico and he got subbed and Vinicius ended up sort of, having a bit of a hissy fit on the sidelines. Xabi Alonso didn't stand for it. Yeah. Was it last weekend?
That wasn't 2 weeks ago.
Fine. 2 weeks. It shows how many games that have been going on and how quickly it feels. But
yeah. I mean,
he seems to have his arms around the sort of the management of the personalities and the characters and sort of the egos as well. So, and then shortly after, Vinicius came out with an apology.
Did Vinicius play this weekend? I did not follow the La Liga this weekend.
That is a very good question.
I'm very curious as to whether or not he did.
I could not tell you right now. That is a very good question. Let's find out quickly if we go and have a look at La Liga. And I don't think they did actually. Let's have a look. So what have we got? Real Madrid. They beat Valencia 4-0. Look at that lineup. Yeah, Vinicius started. He got subbed off. He didn't score. Mbappe scored 2. So he got subbed off.
So he did start. So I mean, at least there is that. So that would seem to indicate that there's not a larger issue.
Yeah.
Right. If he's starting him, he's talent. Yeah, that's a statement by the manager. It says, "Hey, that's in the past. Don't worry about it. Let's move on." I actually think Liverpool will struggle here. I would love for Liverpool to come out and spank them, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think Real is going to be too, and I don't think Alonso is going to, I don't think Xabi's going to pull any punches.
No, and he's against his old club as well, which is interesting as well, right?
No, he's coming in he knows he's coming into a harsh cauldron. Right, to a really difficult venue, and he's going to have to make a statement. So he's going to make a statement. He's going to start his best team. He's going to whoop them, and I think Liverpool are in for some problems.
I think Liverpool are gonna come short here as well. Mbappe is looking on fine form, scored 2 goals again at the weekend. There's something about him and also Haaland as well. I know I've been espousing the sort of the wonderful talents of Erling Haaland and what great form he's in, but Mbappe is the same. Looks to be a little bit leaner, just lost some weight, and just looks as though he's got that sort of spark back, particularly coming into a World Cup year as well. And I do think, again, Liverpool fans are going to boo the hell out of Trent, and he knows what's coming. He said, I saw in an interview,
sure,
he's going to play. He said he wouldn't celebrate if he scored, which is possible, but I think it's
very nice.
You're going to see 2-3.
I don't think Trent's going to score, but
he may deliver some good crosses for Mbappe and the boys as well. But I think that will be true. That is possible. Yeah, I agree. I think Real Madrid should comfortably be able to sort of do this one 2-1, 2-1, 3-1. I do think Liverpool will score. I think the interesting thing with Liverpool is you just can't predict what their starting lineup is. And that's not for a good reason, not saying, they're unpredictable. It's just, I don't think Slot knows who his best team is at the moment, even just looking at the starting lineup on the weekend as well. Ekitike starts, he's sort of their most informed player at the moment as well. But then you've got sort of, there's no Wirtz, he came on as a sub. Chiesa, for some reason, he just doesn't start. I don't know why Chiesa doesn't start more, to be perfectly honest, considering he was their player of the month. And then I don't know if it was an injury related, but even Isak wasn't even on the bench
he's injured. He got injured.
Yeah, he got an injury as well. So so we'll see. I just think Liverpool's defensive lineup is also sort of a bit of a concern. And then of course they lost their goalkeeper, and that frailty at the back, Canate, is it's very, very fragile. That's for sure. Okay,
Isak's, and then just so you know, Isak and Frimpong are the two confirmed injuries, other than, like as you mentioned, Alisson, and then of course the young defender Leone, who's out for the season with the ACL.
Yeah, that's terrible. Yeah, the horrible ACL. Yeah, and then the other big mastering fixture is basically, I would say, probably the two most informed teams across Europe at the moment. Bayern are traveling to Bayern. unbeaten in, I think, is it 15 games so far this season? They have won a 100% win record at the moment. So they are absolutely flying. Same thing goes here in the Champions League, playing against also a perfect record PSG in the Champions League, not so much in Ligue 1. They haven't got off to the best start. They're still sort of top of the league and they're going to dominate it, absolutely. But it will be interesting to see this result and see what happens here, because you've got two basically giants here going head to head. And will Bayern be able to sort of do a Le Louvre-style robbery and go and smash and grab and take the French crown jewels and go and sort of come out of there with 3 points?
I'm gonna say no to that, and here's why. Because the Louvre was apparently not done by professional criminals. It was apparently a random thing done by
just some random dudes,
inexperienced. and that is one thing that Bayern are not. In fact, interesting point. Do you know who Bayern's last loss came to?
Is it PSG?
Bayern's last loss was issued by, back in the Club World Cup, back in the FIFA Club World Cup. That was the last game that Bayern Munich lost, and that was their 2-0 defeat by PSG, who had 2 red cards in that game. So,
wow, good memory.
What does that say?
Wow.
What does that mean for Bayern? Hope that PSG doesn't get red cards.
Yeah, well,
otherwise
disciplinary issues. Yeah, that's possible. Yeah, I PSG, they are, again, Enrique, what he did last season was absolutely phenomenal. So the only blip was obviously the final, the way they sort of lost that final quite convincingly. So they can be beaten. But Vincent Kompany seems to have really built a wonderful, wonderful team as well. And considering they don't have Jamal Musiala still as well out, they've got there's that young player. Is it Lenny? His name is what's that young German kid's name who plays for Bayern as well? He's
there's a lot of young kids. Bayern's got a young team, right? Not as young as PSG. PSG's, you mean Leonard Karl?
Yes, Leonard Karl. Yeah, he looks very good. Very, very
17-year-old, tiny, diminutive little guy, low center of gravity, right? Comes in, maybe 5'6", standing on his tippy toes. No, he's good. Yeah. He moves the ball beautifully.
Yeah. Interesting to see that Harry Kane didn't start. They basically, at the weekend, they played Leverkusen. They beat Leverkusen 3-0. Nicholas Jackson started and scored, and then Gnabry, Leonard Karl as well. Kane was on the bench, so again, they're resting him.
You know who they're resting. He's known as well. You better. Kane's going to be.
They're up for it as well. And Kane also as well has incredible statistics as well, incredible numbers this year as well. He's looking in fantastic form. Okay, so you think Bayern will take that one, Qooligan, or you think
yes, I do think Bayern will take this one, but it's going to be a barnstormer.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be a good game, that one.
It's going to be an absolute barnstormer.
This one, I know we say there's not too many juicy fixtures. Obviously, the Liverpool Real Madrid one, obviously, and the PSG one. But I have a feeling that there's going to be like one of these, Sporting Juventus is going to be an absolute thriller, and you're going to see some really good goals and a really good game. It won't be the main fixture that will be the big one. Okay, all right. So that brings us up to Tuesday's games. Let's go over to some and pick out some of the highlights of Wednesday's games. You've got Spurs against Copenhagen.
Boring.
Spurs. I don't know if you saw the highlights of that Chelsea game. My goodness, what was going on there? I don't know how Spurs' home form is terrible, and they're at home again as well. I don't have faith in Spurs. They couldn't get out of second gear on Saturday. It was pretty comfortable. Yeah, move on from that one. No, absolutely. Oh, no, of course, no. The other one. yeah. I do stand corrected. That is also a Tuesday game. That's Spurs Denmark game. So we'll move on. Okay, so moving on to Wednesday. Early games. Paphos Villarreal. Paphos Villarreal. They're sort of
no. This is a battle.
Fillers.
At the risk of, it's like, I don't want to call it a hobo fight, but it's not a good one.
Wow. Okay.
That's what I mean. It's very insulting both to hobos and the clubs, but
it's a who cares shot match, right?
No, But the other early fixture, I like this one a lot. And I know you're not going to like my take on it, but Qarabağ versus Chelsea. I'm not saying it's going to be a good game. All right. I want to be very clear. I'm not expecting to see good soccer here, but I am expecting to see Chelsea struggle. It's a long ass flight to Baku. right, from London. And Qarabağ are actually they're not to be taken lightly. They are sitting in 13th place. They're right behind Chelsea.
Yeah,
they got the same record,
points.
Same points.
Yeah,
Chelsea has a slightly, marginally better goal differential, but no, do not. If you're going into this or you're thinking this is going to be a walk in the park for the Blues, think again.
No way. These are not easy games. Yeah, these are not easy games. Yeah, I agree. So you think Qarabağ will cause some problems and even could sort of steal some points?
I think Qarabağ could draw. I don't think they're going to win, but they could draw. I think Qarabağ have a high potential for draw on this one, but they have shocked good teams. I mean, they completely took Benfica by surprise, right? And then in their subsequent game, they took out Copenhagen. Okay, Copenhagen's not a great side, but still, they shut them down. And they're at home again. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
It's a long way to travel. Absolutely long way to travel all the way to Azerbaijan. Okay. I think Chelsea, they should be able to do the business here, but I agree with you. It will not be an easy game. And I think, again, Maresca will probably just have to manage the game time, put on the big stars. If you get 1 or 2 goals up, then start just managing minutes and taking off some players and try and see the game out. Ajax against Galatasaray, your beloved Ajax, who are just what the hell is like, I mean, how long until Heitinga gets fired?
This is the game where Heitinga goes, because they're going to lose to Galatasaray. I hate to say it, but they're going to lose to them.
How are Ajax doing in the Dutch league? How are they doing in the Dutch league?
I don't know, and I hate to say it, but I don't really care.
Yeah, they're fourth. The club itself, 8 points off. Yeah,
the club itself is just in a bit of it's in a bigger shambles than it was even 2 years ago when it was terrible. And this little blip that got them into the Champions League, notwithstanding, they've not been able to show any real fire spark. And Galatasaray is going to have a very large contingent of fans in that state, at the Johan Cruyff Arena. All right, let's be honest, it's not going to be entirely all cheering for Ajax. So sure, we're gonna. I think they lose. I really do. And it's going to put Ajax in a real tough spot.
I mean, look at that. They've conceded 11 goals and only conceded 1. This is Ajax's pedigree. Yeah, that is not the Ajax.
No, that's not Ajax.
I'm sort of familiar with.
No, no.
Okay, moving on just in the name of time as well. Benfica, Leverkusen. Benfica also equally as bad as Ajax. Maybe not as leaky.
Both
but Benfica
both teams are miserable. Both teams are miserable.
Leverkusen. Look at that. I mean, that's Leverkusen not doing too badly here. I'd say they are. Where Leverkusen
not doing too badly. They lost to PSG 7-2.
Yeah, but that's PSG as well. So that's,
I don't care who it is.
Yeah,
you lost your game 7-2.
That's true, and then also having just lost to Bayern as well, so they're on a bit of during the week.
I mean, these are two teams that are both not in the playoff hunt right now.
Another Hobo fight, is that what we're calling it?
Well, yes. Wow, you throw my words back at me, and they sound terrible, but they're not. But you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
This is true. Okay, Club Brugge hosts. Club Brugge hosts Barcelona. Barcelona looking really good, really dominant as well.
They'll run all over
them. They don't have too far to travel for.
They're gonna run all over them and still have enough energy to go on a nice pub crawl through some of the great brown cafes in Brugge. Trust me.
Oh, well, that's going to be beautiful. Yeah. Well, you can imagine, Marcus Rashford and Lamine Yamal drinking and, day drinking on the next day in Bruges. Okay. Inter against Carrier. Inter, look at that. Inter are fantastic. Haven't even conceded a goal as well, just like Arsenal.
And they're not going to concede. And they're not going to concede to Kairat either.
No. And they're at home as well. That should be pretty confident as well. Man City, Dortmund. This is going to be an interesting one. This will be a good one. Dortmund.
This will be a fun game.
Because look, where are Man City in the league? I mean, Man City are in 7th as well. They've won 2 as well. So again, Man City, Dortmund.
This is another fixture between 6th and 7th. The two teams that are right next to each other in the standings.
6-7. There we go. There it is.
6-7. 6-7. 6-7. Yeah, that's right, kids.
There it is. We are. We were chatting about this yesterday, watching that Man City game against who were they playing against Bournemouth, and we actually sort of said this is going to be one of the juicier fixtures. And I don't know why Bournemouth did this, but they kept playing this high line. And all that was happening is they were just sticking balls over the top, and Haaland, with his pace, blistering pace and form, strength, size, frame, all of those things, would just run onto them and just bang and comfortably ran away with it. And so my message to Dortmund, because obviously we know they're listening, because we can see the subscribers and the followers, is don't play the high line. Play the low block.
Play the high line.
Don't play the high line. Play the low block and play for the counter as well. They're away as well, so you don't. Why would you play the high line and play into the hands? I just don't understand why you would take this strategy, especially when Haaland is in form, and because they are so reliant on Haaland as well. So play the low block, man mark Haaland, and you get half a chance of basically stealing some points away. Should be the game plan as well.
Absolutely true.
Yeah.
And remember, right? That's his old club.
It is true. Oh yes, it is. It's
this is Haaland's old, right? He played for Borussia.
He did, didn't he?
Came
before
to
he went
City
there
from
well.
Borussia.
Yes, exactly. So this is.
So I mean, this is there's a lot in this game, aside from the sixes and the sevens and the Haaland things. I mean, there's a lot happening in this game. I think this could be the equal of the PSG Bayern game in terms of its volatility and just ability to awe.
Yeah,
I'm excited. I think this one's great.
Yeah. And if they're both sitting in that sort of like 6th and 7th spot, remember that automatic qualification is the top 8 as well. So as we're closing
this is a big game for making that pathway, right?
Just
like
staying
the
up
win
there
here just puts you that much closer to having that all important two game rest.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's the key thing as well, right? Okay, so moving on, then we've got Newcastle against Athletic Club. Newcastle, I don't know what's going on with Newcastle at the moment. They just can't seem to get it going for some reason. I don't know what's causing that, why that is, but just Newcastle's form has just been stop start. I mean, looking at this, they lost 3-1 to West Ham as well, and they're sitting in 13th place in the league. And again, they lose, they win, they lose, they win. Leaky defense, they're able to score some goals, but this is going to be a hard one to call, because I think that Athletic Club are flying as well. They are doing very well now that they're back in the Champions League as well.
They're doing very well. Maybe in La Liga, they're not doing so great in the Champions League. They had 2.
What are they? 21. Yeah, 2 losses. Yeah,
no, they haven't had 2 losses, and then they finally eked out a win again over Qarabağ at home. Good for them. That was fine, but. Yeah, and then of course Newcastle's the opposite. They've got 2 wins and a loss. So, I think this is a tough one. Both teams suffer from inconsistency. And so really it comes down to who's going to find their form on the day. Given Newcastle's sort of, as you say, on again, off again scenario, and them being at home, this is not a good sign for Athletic Club, because I have a feeling Newcastle will show up for this. And I think they will be strong, and I think they will go and spank, the Bilbao pretty handily.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, if I was forced to pick a side, I'd go Newcastle on this one. I think just the way that they've been performing poorly, then good, then poor, then good. Yeah. The curve says they're all going to be on the up.
Yeah, you'd expect that. Okay. And then final game, Marseille Atalanta. Now, Marseille...
Again, 2 teams right next to each other in the standings, 16th and 17th, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't understand who does the scheduling, but boy, are they good.
They're getting this.
Boy, are they good.
It's a testament to this new format, isn't it? They really do. It just they do have sort of, you do have much closer games, and it just makes it more competitive to the end, as you say, with the new format. Marseille, I really, really am liking Marseille at the moment. I know they're not on the greatest run of form in Ligue 1, but they do have that sort of, again, that ragtag set of misfits and offcuts that they've just been able to pull together.
This is one of those matches where you look at the stats and you're like, this can't be right. So Atalanta, right, are sitting with 4 points. They've only scored 2 goals. So they've scored the fewest goals of any team outside of like the bottom 8.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So they've conceded 5. That is very not Atalanta.
Yeah. It's very
and Marseille are sitting with 3 points with them. They've scored 6. and conceded 4. They got a +2 goal differential, and they're sitting in 18th place on 3 points.
Yeah, it's a big
so the question is, what the hell's going on, Gary? I don't know. This game could be anywhere.
Yeah, this could
go anyway. Yeah, right.
And another Hobo fight. Are we going to call it that one?
No. That's stretch. You went too far. You tried to Monty Python the joke and do it 3 times.
One too much. Yeah. Don't do the same gag. Mm-hmm.
You another, and then you're going to put all that into the stadium, right? You're going to put all that in the velodrome, and you're not going to know what's happening. So you're really going to have to stay tuned in live time in order to figure out what the story is.
It can definitely go anyway. That is for sure. Yeah, it really can. It's all shaping up well. Wonderful. Well, Qooligan, that brings us through the end of another episode. Champions League, Tuesday and Wednesday, all action, all activity, fun and games. And then we'll be back later on this week. We'll do another MLS playoff wrap-up, I think, as well, and a look back.
Well, there are probably game 3s that'll happen, but we'll talk about everything that happened there.
We'll get into them. Yeah, exactly. Fantastic. Well, Qooligan, as always, thank you very much. And as always, hooligan-soccer.com. Go and check out all the writings and the musings, and we will see you next time. Thank you.
Peace.